and welcome back to the power of your story. I'm Sahar Huneidi Palmer, and today we're focusing on one of the most essential traits for entrepreneurs. Can you guess? Resilience. Entrepreneurship is a journey filled with challenges, unexpected setbacks, moments of self doubt, financial stress, and the pressure to keep going even though the path is uncertain. But resilience is what helps us rise, adapt, and keep moving forward. It is the backbone of Unbox Life Mentoring. The whole point of holistic life mentoring is that you bring different aspects of yourself into alignment and you develop resilience naturally. In this episode, we will explore how to nurture resilience as an entrepreneur using the BEMA framework. By aligning your body, emotions, mind, and accountability, you will naturally master the four dimensions of change and develop the strength and adaptability needed to thrive in the face of challenges. It's a natural byproduct, if you like, of the BEMA process, where the unbox methodology is the process itself. I spoke about this in different podcasts, but today we're going to explore why resilience is important in entrepreneurship. Whether in home life, personal life, or business life, the principles are the same. Well, every entrepreneur's journey is peppered with obstacles, but it's developing through the process of resilience determines whether we stumble or we stride forward. Both business and personal life require resilience for three main reasons. 1. Setbacks happen. 2. The journey is unpredictable. And 3. Pressure can be overwhelming. For example, when projects don't always go as planned and failures are part of the process, how do you deal with that? When markets change, competitors emerge, and unexpected challenges arise. Balancing responsibilities, finances, and personal life can take a toll. So, what do we gain by developing resilience? Resilience, in many ways, is the backbone of entrepreneurship. It helps us navigate the unpredictable waters of business that test our resolve, from sudden market shifts to personal trials that test our resolve. Today, we're going to explore, with the help of BEMA framework, practical steps, not just to endure, but actually to thrive through these challenges. A client of mine recently faced a major setback when her product launch was delayed by months due to supply chain issues. She felt defeated, but we used the BEMA framework to regroup, adapt her strategy, and communicate transparently with her customers, which ultimately strengthened her business. Consider this: entrepreneurship is not a smooth sail, but a series of waves. Each wave, whether it's a minor setback or a major obstacle, tests our resilience. It's about more than surviving, it's about adapting and emerging stronger. Ask yourself, how resilient do you feel in your entrepreneurial journey right now? What challenges are testing your ability to bounce back? Reflect for a moment on your own path. What recent challenges shook your confidence? Did you confront it? Recognizing these moments is essential. It is the first step in strengthening our resilience. Let's break it down using BEMA: body, emotions, mind, and accountability. Here is how each dimension of BEMA can help you nurture resilience as an entrepreneur and bring you back to a state of harmony. Let's start with your physical well-being. A healthy body fuels a resilient mind. Prioritize exercise, nutrition, and rest. You can adapt your exercise in the way that suits your work schedule, but any incremental change builds up and actually will be quite important. When you build physical energy and strength, resilience actually starts with a healthy body. So when you're healthy, you naturally, biologically, if you will, become resilient. Recent scientific studies show that children of resilient parents are also emotionally more resilient than the average children. So it's a quality that really affects the DNA and it can be passed on. When you're physically well, you have more energy to face the challenges. So, what you can do is prioritize habits that recharge your body, such as regularly going out in nature or walking or swimming, balancing your meals so that you get the elements that suit you as nutrition, and of course, most importantly, is get some proper sleep. The body and the mind and the brain rebuilds itself during your sleeping time. So maybe that should be a priority to start sleeping well so that you can wake up energized. A client of mine, a business owner, felt totally burnt out. He started doing morning yoga routine by the beach. This improved his focus and energy throughout the day. It helped him to keep going so that he doesn't experience any downtime because of physically, literally lacking energy. Let's move on to the next dimension, emotions. Entrepreneurship is emotionally taxing. Regularly check in with your feelings. Use tools like journaling or meditation or contemplative time, whatever you want to call it, to process your emotions regularly. Entrepreneurship often brings a roller coaster of emotions. Acknowledging this process helps you to see the trend, how you're responding, and modulate and adapt your behavior accordingly. By journaling, you will actually see what kind of patterns or themes that trigger you, how you respond, and when you see it, when your brain sees what's on your mind, actually a shift takes place. So practice mindfulness and stay present instead of overreacting to what's happening. Our alignment is more like a pendulum. The more you push it to an extreme, if you overreact, then you naturally push yourself out of alignment. You begin to feel more blocked, and this throws you further away from resilience. Here's an example. A client who felt really overwhelmed by a financial setback wrote in her journal every evening. It's not like a diary, you're more writing like an observation, a report. What triggered me, what emotions went through me, how did I react? This helped her release the stress and focus on solutions. And the reason is, once you acknowledge your feelings, you move past that into the next step, which is finding solutions. The third dimension is the mind. Adopt a growth mindset. I often tell my clients, focus on the destination. This is one area where you need to focus on your goal because all paths are peppered with obstacles. But if you keep your eye on the goal, asking yourself, what is this showing me? How do I get to the destination? It just allows you the flexibility to maneuver and do what is appropriate. And you'll find that I will always use this word frequently because your responses, your actions need to be in measure to what is happening. So an appropriate response is what we're looking for. Reframe setbacks as opportunities by asking, what is it showing me? Then you will learn a lot more about what you need to do, and this is moving forward. Your mindset plays a key role in resilience. View challenges as opportunities and learn to grow through them rather than label them as failures. This is so important. Identify one lesson from each setback. So you can draw like a timeline of years or months where you went through setbacks. Identify what the trigger is or what has happened and how did you respond. And see it like a graph, like a timeline. And that would tell you quite a lot about your strategy or lack of, which are to do with how do I navigate through these unexpected changes. This can tell you what the next steps are. I think if you keep this in mind, what is this showing me? That immediately, instantly shifts you to that kind of mindset where you become resilient and you're focusing on moving forward rather than getting stuck feeling that you have failed. For example, a startup founder whose first product failed reframed the experience as a learning opportunity using customer feedback to develop a more successful version of the product. And she actually did really well. And now, with her brother running the business, they're expanding globally. The fourth and the final dimension of change is accountability. Stay consistent and focused. I don't mean kill yourself for taking the wrong decision. So, no self flagellation here. But rather say, okay, I messed this up, I can fix it. For me, that is much more empowering than labeling things as a failure. Keep yourself on track. Set realistic, incremental goals and celebrate small victories in order to keep the momentum going. Any pat on the shoulder you give yourself will give you the impetus to keep going. Resilience requires taking consistent and appropriate actions. Even when progress feels slow, what habits or systems can you develop to stay on track? Another example is an entrepreneur I worked with. Began integrating brief meditation sessions into his daily routine. This significantly boosted his focus, reduced stress, and enabled him to tackle daily challenges with a clearer head. From my experience, women tend to acknowledge the emotional stress and deal with it, whereas men find it a little bit woo to sit and meditate. So I kind of hesitate to use the word meditate, but whatever it means to you, a period of reflection, a period of disconnecting and just spending time with yourself. What works for me is walking in nature. Practically, you can commit, for example, to completing 3 key tasks daily instead of 50. Sometimes we start with a long list of things to do, and this adds on to the stress. But this person stayed more focused by adopting regular progress despite the challenges that were going on. So, how can you build resilience? Here are 3 tips to strengthen your resilience as an entrepreneur. 1. Celebrate progress, not perfection. As we said, focus on small wins along the way rather than waiting for the big milestones. Another client of mine celebrated her success by reaching 100 newsletter subscribers. This motivated her to keep going, although the number seemingly small. 2. Build a support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and support you, whether it's a mentor, peer, a community, friends, or fellow entrepreneurs. Sometimes I run online group mentoring for that purpose, to help people come together, learn from each other's experience, and support each other, providing valuable feedback. We can perhaps be more objective towards other people rather than our own journey. And in the online mentorship, I promise to unblock an obstacle for each person. But what is really amazing is the interaction that they have among themselves, because they're each giving feedback about their own experience, and this gives a huge support to the other members. And finally, my 3rd tip is take breaks when needed. I was talking to my niece earlier, and she was saying, "Oh, I'm trying to do what you said. I'm trying the la la la." And I said, replace the word balance by integrate. So you're not just looking for balancing breaks and working hours, you're looking to integrate them so that you don't do one at the expense of the other, like the two sides of a scale. But if you look at it as integration, it's more like your lifestyle or your strategy, if you will, about integrating opposites rather than finding the balance point. So integration implies that you're flexible. Maybe today I'll work 7 hours, but I'll relax for two. Maybe tomorrow I'll work for 5 hours and relax for three, or get other things done. Integration somehow, to me anyway, makes it feel more doable. Here's a woman who was running a business, a consulting business, and started taking weekends off to focus on her family and her own self care. This helped her to return to work with renewed energy. And for me personally, if I can share this, after doing what I'm doing for like 32 years, I've decided I am no longer going to work on weekends. I need one day with my family, especially that some members have moved to Dubai, and I need to really develop or make some memories with their children. That's the next generation. And I need one day for myself. So no matter what happens, I promise myself I will not work over the weekends. This kind of opening also stimulates you. When you take a break, you are literally open for other activities. You're open to grow in other aspects of your life. And this kind of creativity is what boosts our energy, but also keeps us developing in balance. Let's wrap up with a resilience building exercise. Think back, as I suggested to you at the beginning of this episode, of today's episode, think back to a challenge you're facing right now in your business. Reflect on how this challenge is impacting your body, your emotions, your mind, and your actions, or accountability to your actions. Then decide on one actionable step that you can take today to address this challenge. So if you're feeling emotionally down, the action would be what can support me emotionally, or who, or what activity. And just keep it as a plan in front of you. I normally put it on my desk so that I see it every day. And that works. Even if I don't put it into action, my mind, my brain is registering it. It goes into my mind, and then I find unknowingly the action takes place naturally without any resistance. So try and see your goals, try and see your solutions, write down your questions. How do I cope with this? What is it showing me? And then the answers come naturally because you are in a mindset that says, I want to move forward, I am moving forward. Now, the first dimension, your body. How is the challenge you're going through right now affecting your physical energy? What can you do to recharge? Again, think of nutrition, exercise, breaks, nature, and your immediate environment. Wherever your office or work environment is, think of something that you can shift, move, change, update so that you feel more comfortable. Emotions. What feelings are surfacing often, and how can you process them? It's no good getting frustrated without understanding why. These are your own patterns. So, journaling, what I call BE journal. So, you journal, kind of like report on the state of your body, report on the state of your emotions without the analysis. What you're doing, again, is you're tracking the themes, the patterns, so that you can deal with them. Have an internal dialogue, if you like, in your journal. The third dimension is mind. What lessons can you take from this challenge? How did it happen? Because of something you did, or because of something perhaps you did not do, or because you were not focusing on the right goal? You need to understand what was going on in that dimension, and that will help you bring it back into alignment. And the final dimension is accountability. What small, consistent actions can help you move forward? So if you track these, you will shift through anything. Even if it is a Black Swan event, your strategy will be the same, and the momentum will build, and each time you will become more and more resilient. The final step is always taking action. If you don't take action, nothing will change. My clients know this. I often say, when you go home and it's dark, do you think about switching the light or do you just switch it on? And that makes the difference between darkness and light. It's the action. There is no need for analysis. So sometimes taking an action will give you feedback, and then you can gauge your action or modulate it to get a better feedback. It's an action that brings about the change. And finally, please remember that resilience is not about avoiding challenges or enduring tough times. It is about evolving through them. It's about learning, making them work for you. It's about adapting, maintaining a certain level or range of flexibility to leave you open for solutions and new opportunities so that you can grow through the challenges. I remember when I first started my job in the corporate world, there was a poster hung on the wall, and it was like the number one failure is we're not going to do this because we've always done it this way. And to my mind, that spelled flexibility. So don't just stick to automatic habits or strategies just because you've always done them. Flexibility, being open-minded, open to new solutions, new ways of doing things, will open up new opportunities by definition. In a nutshell, resilience is about thriving in a world that is constantly changing and constantly testing our limits. Why? Because the whole process of life and business is growth. So please give the BEMA framework a try. See it for yourself. See how it can help you build physical energy, emotional strength, and a growth mindset, and hold yourself accountable so that you can thrive as an entrepreneur. And if you're really stuck and you want to move forward, book a discovery session with me, and I can help you overcome at least one obstacle in our session. In any case, I'd love to hear from you. Give me your feedback, send me an email anytime, and let me know how did applying the BEMA framework work for you. Thank you for tuning in, and if you found this episode insightful, please subscribe and share your thoughts of your own stories of resilience. Until next time, remember, resilience is not just about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward with purpose. This is Sahar Huneidi Palmer, wishing you a resilient week.